Are you wondering, what is Orange Theory all about? And will Orange Theory help me reach my health goals? Well, that's what I'm going to be answering in today's video. My name is Tiffany. Welcome to my channel. In my channel, I share all about proven weight loss truths that I have learned over my time of losing over 200 pounds totally naturally and keeping it off for over 13 years. Now, Orange Theory. What is it? Well, so it is a group fitness studio that they do group classes, and they're mostly cardio and strength training based. So there's going to be a mixture of things going on in the class, but primarily in that 1 hour, because that's how long their classes are. In that 1 hour, you will do about 30 minutes on a cardio machine, which is either a treadmill or a water rower, basically a rowing machine. And then you'll spend, maybe 20 other minutes on the floor doing various circuit training with, a TRX machine or resistance bands, dumbbells, Bosu ball, things like that. So in these classes, basically it's called Orange Theory because their strategy or their theory is that if you can stay in your orange zone of your heart rate, then that's going to be optimal for you and help produce optimal results. So anyone that's in the class is wearing, well, they're supposed to wear a heart rate monitor, and that heart rate monitor is going to show up on a screen that everyone can see in the class, and it's going to have your name and it's going to show what your heart rate is and what zone are you in. And the goal is to get into the orange zone. And if you're in the orange zone, you're going to be assigned what's called splat points, and your splat points are awarded to you. You're trying to aim for 12 per class, and those stand for the amount of minutes that you have spent in your heart burning zone of that orange, zone. And so that is kind of what a class looks like. They are 1 hour long. They're led by a trainer. And normally the trainer will divide, depending on the amount of people that are in a specific group, they'll divide the group up into two. And they'll say, okay, this group, you are going to start on the cardio machine. So you're going to start on the treadmill. This group, you're going to start on the circuit. You're going to start on the floor. They coach both simultaneously, and then they swap them, and then they finish out the class on the other side. So that's pretty much what Orange Theory is: group fitness, cardio, strength, heart rate monitor, shown for all to see, treadmill, rower, circuit training, and that's pretty much what it is. Now, I did Orange Theory for 4 months. I did it 4 to 5 days a week, and I had some interesting results, and I'll be sharing those with you at the end of this video. So first, I'm going to share with you kind of what my history has been so that as I'm getting ready to share with you what I liked about Orange Theory and what I didn't like about Orange Theory, you kind of know where I'm coming from. What I've come from a background of doing a lot of different types of fitness. Over my experience of losing 200 pounds, I did tons of spin classes, which is stationary cycling. I did, body pump. I did running. I've done CrossFit, lots of CrossFit. I've done boot camp classes. So I'm not new to Orange Theory. And when I did Orange Theory, I was coming from a place of being postpartum, but also still having, a pretty decent level of fitness. So first, what I liked about Orange Theory. I liked that Orange Theory was a combination of cardio and strength training. I really believe that that's optimal for, fitness training. And so I liked that both of those elements were in there. I felt like that is really what leads to the best amount of overall health as well as weight loss if you're looking for that. So I appreciated that they incorporated both of those elements. I also liked that I feel like they used the time well. So like I said, it's an hour-long class. And for me, I'm a busy mom of 4 kids. I wake up at, most of the time I was going to the class at 5:30. And so I really want to squeeze every ounce of that time out for exercise if I'm giving it to that. And I felt like they did it well. There was always a plan. They were always keeping it moving. And I felt like that hour usually was pretty well used. So those were the things that I liked about it. But that was about it. I had a lot that I did not like about Orange Theory. Now, granted, this is just my experience, but this is my review. So I'm going to share it with you. So the first thing I didn't like about it was, well, the price. That kind of hits you right off from the beginning, because the price, and it's different for the amount of classes that you would like to go to per week. But for me, I wanted to go 4 or 5 times per week. And so for me, that was like $165 per month. And I don't mind paying that amount if it's something that fitness is so important to me. So I don't mind paying that amount if it's really going to fit and fill the need that I'm looking for it to fill, but I didn't. And $165 when it's not also including childcare, or it's not including personal training, or, getting any sort of feedback specifically from the trainer on goals or anything like that. that was pretty steep in my opinion. And it didn't come close to any of the other types of fitness that I've done in terms of price. Also, the heart rate monitor. So you purchase the heart rate monitor that is specifically from Orange Theory. And I think it was like somewhere between $100 to $120 for the heart rate monitor. So when you're starting a class, you're looking at, paying close to $300 that first time just to get your heart rate monitor and to pay for your first month. And that's a pretty heavy investment, especially if you haven't had a whole lot of experience there. They will let you do one class for free, but I don't know if I'm going to invest $300. I kind of would like to know more if I'm really going to like it or not. And when I decided to be done with Orange Theory, I then, had to just pretty much sell that heart rate monitor because it has no other function outside of Orange Theory. Whereas, your Apple Watch plays many different roles for you. So I didn't appreciate that. That being said, I knew all of that before I signed up. So that being said, the main thing that I did not like about Orange Theory was it was so repetitive. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love working out. I love it. Not that every day I necessarily want to, but once I get started, I love it. I dreaded going to Orange Theory, and mostly because of the repetition. So, unless you love to run on a treadmill, then I think that most people are going to have a hard time with the amount of that it's the same thing every day, because you go in there and maybe you'll start, maybe you're part of the group that's on the treadmills, or maybe you're a part of the one that's starting on the floor. But either way, in that hour, you are going to spend between 25 to 30 minutes probably on a treadmill or a rower. But either way, there's always treadmill time. And for me to, basically know that I'm going to have to be on this treadmill for 25 minutes every single day, it was just hard for me mentally, because all you can really think about is like, okay, do I want to make it a little faster? Do I want to make the hill a little lower or higher? Okay, here I go. Here's another 2 minutes. And they do their best at trying to, keep your mind engaged by telling you, okay, here comes a hill, like go ahead, or let's speed it up. But I mean, man, if you're working out, 4 to 5 times a week, eventually your mind is just done. And so if I was ready to be done. All you can look at is just like yourself in the mirror, or kind of the person beside you, or the clock that's showing you how much more time you're going to have to be on this treadmill. And so because I do run, like I've run multiple 5Ks and things like that. But running on a treadmill every day for that amount of time is just not my cup of tea, because I know that I can get cardio workouts from so many other variety of ways that can keep things fresh. Yes, the floor work was nice, but the floor work sometimes was only like maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe, of the workout. And so, because I don't appreciate that amount of treadmill work, yeah. And I like the rower, but again, not for that amount of time. It bothered my knees sometimes, like the amount of running on the treadmill, even though the equipment was all really nice, it also bothered my knees because I'm tall and I'm just not used to that amount of running. Now, you can speed walk. That is definitely an option. But eventually you get tired of speed walking, and speed walking can sometimes make the time tick by even slower than being on the treadmill did, period. And so that was probably my biggest issue with Orange Theory, was I was just so bored, and it made me dread working out, which who wants that, right? I also didn't like that. I feel like, when you do a group fitness, it's because you want there to be some interaction with the people that you're working out with. Otherwise you would work out on your own. So when I do group fitness, I want there to be some level of community. Now, I was working out at 5:30 in the morning. And so maybe that had something to do with it, but I've worked out at 5:30 in the morning at a CrossFit, and there's great community. And I've worked out at 5:30 in the morning at boot camps, and there's great community. Where I'm at now, there's amazing community, and it's around the same time. And so I think there's just nothing really there that's helping foster community. I think part of that is because you go in and it's like this dark place with these orange lights that makes you feel like you're in a club, and you're assigned your treadmill or you're assigned your rower, and you get there and you do your thing, and then you get out. And I felt like, why am I coming here to be with these, other people and to kind of get encouragement and community? And it just was not there. There were people that literally were working out together every single day, and they never spoke to each other. And like I said, this has not been my experience in any other fitness community I've been in. So it's not just me. It's really the environment. Maybe it was the specific Orange Theory I was at, but that was definitely my experience. Now, I also didn't like that they had the screen up there that had all of the statistics on it. And it's not because I'm against competition, because I enter competition. So it's not that I'm against competition, but it was pretty discouraging because, you're looking on this screen, you see everyone's names in the class, you're seeing what their heart rate is and how many splat points they've earned and if they're in the orange zone. And first of all, sometimes the heart rate monitors would be faulty. When I say sometimes, I mean often. They would be faulty because your heart rate would be like pounding and sweating, and you'd be like, why does it say my heart rate's 90? And so you knew it wasn't accurate. So it's like kind of frustrating because you're doing this work, and not that it really matters what your heart rate monitor says, but still, if you're doing the work and you pay the money for the heart rate monitor, you want it to, be accurate. And so it wouldn't show up accurately, and it would look like maybe you weren't doing very much, or, you would finish the class and you're like, okay, like I burned, 375 calories. Okay, that's good. And then you look at the guy next to you who's maybe very out of shape and he's burned like 900 calories. And yes, I understand that, when you're more out of shape, it's obviously your heart rate's going to be higher. And so you're going to burn more calories. I get it. But just having those numbers up there for comparison, when you're comparing your like 350 calories to 950 calories, can just kind of be discouraging and be a little disappointing when you feel like, well, did I do anything there? So I like just having the information for myself on my watch. I don't need everybody else to see it. I don't need to see what everybody else is doing. For me, that was kind of discouraging and weird and frustrating since the equipment didn't even always work. So I guess I would say if you really like the treadmill and you like to run or you don't mind speed walking, then I definitely think Orange Theory could be worth trying out. Try out that free class. And for sure, it's definitely going to be beneficial to a person's health. They're doing cardio, they're doing strength training. It's certainly not going to be detrimental, most likely, but it just was not at all the right fit for me. Now, that being said, I did go 4 to 5 times per week. I paired it with a really strong nutrition base that I've always used. And when I went to Orange Theory, I had just had my second child. And so I had, like 30 or 40 pounds to lose because I had 2 babies back to back. And so I had 30 or 40 pounds to lose, but I still had a strong fitness foundation. And when I went in, I did it for 4 months, and my results were that I lost about 12 pounds. Now, I know that sounds good, and certainly it is good, but I had a pretty significant amount of weight to lose. And I was working out there for an hour, every day, for the 4 to 5 times a week that I went. And I'm happy for that 12 pounds. Like I said, if you're doing cardio, you're doing strength training, and you're pairing it with good nutrition, it's certainly going to work. But I really feel like, more could have been done. Now that I'm in other fitness environments, certainly I feel like my time is better spent and I'm seeing more results, but it definitely helped me, lose 12 pounds. So I'm grateful for that. But mentally, it was not a space that I could continue to hang in. So that's my review, my experience, my results with Orange Theory. But I definitely suggest checking it out to find out for yourself what your experience would be as well. So if you like information like this, hit that subscribe button because more is coming your way. And for more information on things like personal coaching, my program, freebies, check out my website at www.confidencecurrency.co.